Because on the outside looking in, we're like, why in the heck would they leave if everything was so great? Can you take us
Real
back
rap,
to that?
real rap money. At some point, you, as a man, as a businessman, as a professional, want to be in control of how you, as a brand, move forward. And we just felt like, current at that time, that wasn't a priority to Bad Boy.
What did Diddy really do to the members of 112?
He looks at me and say, "You're it." Now. I didn't ask for this. You know what I'm saying?
Were they victims of manipulation, exploitation, or worse?
At some point, you, as a man, as a businessman, as a professional, want to be in control of how you, as a brand, move forward.
For years, rumors have swirled about Diddy's shady dealings with his artists, and now 112 is finally speaking out. But why did they leave Bad Boy at the height of their success? And what shocking details have they revealed about their time with one of the most controversial moguls in music history?
It's simple. Don't extend or sign another one to extend your contract.
From public disputes to broken promises, the tension between Diddy and 112 was more than just business. Was it personal? And did Bad Boy Records destroy their careers? Let's uncover every detail about their fallout, the accusations against Diddy, and the jaw-dropping truths behind the glitz and glamour of the music industry.
His whole gift was the fact that he was able to, touch different genres and different brands.
Before becoming household names, the members of 112 were just a local group trying to break into the music industry. They weren't always 112. They started out as a quartet called Forte, made up of Keith, Scandrick, Jones, and Parker. The group performed anywhere they could in their hometown of Atlanta, talent shows, churches, and schools. Their dedication caught the attention of their manager, who managed to arrange a life-changing audition with Sean Diddy Combs, known back then as Puff Daddy.
I get enough of you, always again of you.
This moment took place outside Club 112 in Buckhead, a hot spot in Atlanta that has since closed its doors. The group performed for Diddy right there in front of the club. Their talent was undeniable, and Diddy saw something special. He arranged another audition for them, this time in front of Bad Boy Records artists Faith Evans and Usher. After blowing everyone away, they earned a spot at Bad Boy Records. With that, their lives would never be the same. Soon after signing, the group dropped their original name, Forte, and adopted 112 as a nod to the club where they'd had their big break. It was the start of an incredible journey in the music industry.
And in a way, I'm glad. No, not in a way, but I'm glad that we signed to Bad Boy, because Bad Boy just gave us a different edge, man, that came with New York, that came with Sean, came with Diddy.
With their new name and record deal, 112 began working on their debut album. Released in 1996, the self-titled album showcased their unique sound and smooth harmonies. It featured hits like Cupid and Only You, the latter being a collaboration with fellow Bad Boy star Notorious Big. This track was a game changer, establishing 112 as one of R&B's hottest new acts. Their collaboration with Diddy and Faith Evans on a song dedicated to the Notorious Big after his tragic death turned into a massive hit. The heartfelt track didn't just top charts, it also won them a Grammy for Best Rap Performance by a duo or group. This was a defining moment in their careers, solidifying their place in the industry. The accolades didn't stop there. In 2001, 112 scored another Grammy nomination for their sultry single Peaches and Cream. Years later, in 2017, the group reunited for the Bad Boy Family Reunion Tour. They joined forces with Diddy, Mace, Faith Evans, Total, The Lox, and newer artists like French Montana, creating a nostalgia-filled experience for fans nationwide. Over the years, 112 continued to make waves in the R&B world. They won their first Grammy in 1997 and secured another nomination in 2002. By February 2002, however, the group decided to part ways with Bad Boy Records. They signed with Def Jam and released albums like Hot and Wet and Pleasure and Pain under the Def Soul label. In 2007, they even started their label, 112 Music Group, but their time as a group slowed down as they eventually went on hiatus. Despite a brief reunion in 2018, tensions flared, and members Q and Darren left the group, leaving Slim and Mike as the last standing members of 112.
When he got on that record, we felt like, okay, and we knew the type of work Puffer was going to put into it. We knew it. And then
Slim, with his smooth, high tenor voice, has been the face of 112 since the beginning. After the group went on hiatus in 2007, he decided to go solo. His debut album, Love's Crazy, dropped in 2008 and included the hit single So Fly, which made it onto the Billboard Hot 100. Even though it was a promising start, Slim never managed to replicate that level of success in his solo career. His second album, Refueled, came out in 2016 but didn't make much of a splash. When 112 reunited in 2018, Slim was back at it, carrying the torch for the group alongside Mike.
Where people really need to hear the truth. You know what I mean? So
Mike, another founding member, has been with the group since their Forte days in the early 90s. When the group paused in 2007, he also ventured into a solo career, driven by personal financial struggles due to alleged mismanagement within the group. His solo album, Michael Keith, was released digitally in 2008. Though it didn't make major waves, Mike stayed connected to music and eventually rejoined 112 in 2010. Today, he and Slim represent the group's legacy. As for Q, he started exploring new opportunities even before leaving 112 in 2018. In 2015, he made his acting debut in My First Miracle and later took on roles in films like Cheating in the Next Room and Christmas Ringer. Acting seems to be his new passion, and he might be carving out a second career in Hollywood. In September 2023, following the death of singer Irish Grinstead, Q surprised fans by publicly expressing interest in reuniting with Slim and Mike. Whether this reunion will happen remains to be seen.
we knew it. And then the moment we heard it on Hot 97 in New York, man, it was like the Five Heartbeats movie. Like all of us hovered around the little boom box.
Darren, on the other hand, has been busy building his solo career, becoming the most prolific solo artist among the group members. Since 2015, he's dropped multiple projects, including Christmas in Atlanta, The Unofficial Diary of Darren Jones, Vol 2, and Human. While he's largely kept out of the spotlight, Darren has remained dedicated to his music. Like Q, he stepped away from 112 in 2018 and has since focused entirely on his solo ventures. The members of 112 have been through a lot together, from their humble beginnings as teenagers performing at local talent shows to being discovered by Diddy at Club 112. Their story is one of determination and resilience, even in the face of challenges.
Bad Boy, yeah, it was all glitz and glamour and you all the $1 million this and that and the platinum this and all this other stuff or whatever.
After joining Bad Boy Records, the group was immediately thrown into the deep end. Diddy, known for pushing his artists to the limit, made sure 112 gave their absolute best. The group has shared plenty of stories about their early days with Diddy, and they don't hold back about how tough it was. In a 2018 interview, Slim recalled an unforgettable night during a blizzard. The group thought they had wrapped up their studio session at 1 a.m., only for Diddy to bang on their door at 4 a.m. demanding they get back to work. "Turn on all the lights! Y'all asleep? Y'all are happy with that record?" Diddy yelled. He didn't accept anything less than perfection. Mike shared another memory from that time. One night, after working in the studio from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., he and Darren had to rush back to their apartment to get ready for school. A massive snowstorm had hit Atlanta, and as they left, Diddy drove off in his Benz, chains on the tires, rolling down the window to say, "I'll holler at y'all." Mike laughed as he remembered wondering how they would get home. Q added his own experience of Diddy's late-night work ethic. So many times we'd be asleep after a full day of recording, and he'd show up at 2 or 3 a.m., ringing the buzzer. "Nah, let's go back," Q said, remembering how relentless Diddy was in pushing them to be great. Despite the tough love, Diddy also encouraged and praised the group. Mike recalled how, even after long, grueling hours, Diddy would tell them, "You're going to make history. You're going to be big." And history, indeed, they made. But in recent years, fans have complained about how Diddy treated this band. Sure, he may have spotted raw talent in 112 and pushed them to stardom, but let's not sugarcoat his behavior. The stories about his mentorship don't always paint a picture of someone nurturing greatness. It often comes off as downright exploitative. Sure, Diddy had the vision and the drive, but was all the tough love really necessary? Or was it more about control?
At some point, you as a man, as a businessman, as a professional, want to be in control of how you as a brand move forward.
Let's be real. Leaving teenagers stranded in a snowstorm after a grueling 12-hour studio session isn't exactly the mark of a caring mentor. It's giving "do what I say or else." Diddy rolling off in his Benz with chains on the tires while the boys were left to figure out how to get home screams more of a power move than a lesson in resilience. These kids were still in high school, hustling in the studio while balancing classes, and yet Diddy seemed more interested in results than their well-being. And what about that praise? It feels less like genuine encouragement and more like a tactic to keep them loyal despite the mistreatment. Sure, he told them they were going to make history, but right after he pushed them past their physical and emotional limits. Telling someone they're great after breaking their spirit is a classic manipulation move. Was it really about building them up, or was it about ensuring they do whatever it took to meet his standards? This pattern of pushing artists to the brink isn't unique to 112. Many former bad boy artists have come forward over the years to share eerily similar stories about Diddy's so-called mentorship. While Bad Boy Records, under the leadership of Sean Combs, Diddy, has been a significant force in the music industry, there have been claims by certain artists regarding disputes over rights and challenging experiences. Shyne's association with Bad Boy Records is often highlighted as one of the more trying instances. Shyne's tumultuous experience with the label intensified after a gathering in New York City in late December 1999 escalated into a nightclub shooting, resulting in 3 severe injuries. In the aftermath, Sean Combs, Jennifer Lopez, and Shyne faced a precarious situation. This incident not only marked a challenging period for Shyne's career, but also contributed to the broader discussions about the industry's complexities and the relationships between artists and record labels. There are differing narratives about the incident. According to one version, a group of men approached Diddy in the VIP area of the club and playfully tossed a bag of cash at the Bad Boy CEO. Another account suggests that while leaving the club, Diddy accidentally bumped into a club goer who was holding a bottle of champagne, causing a commotion. The incident quickly became headline news overnight. Regardless of the catalyst, the blame shifted to Shyne, who responded by brandishing a firearm and firing shots into the air. The chaos ensued, prompting everyone to evacuate the club and resulting in potential injuries to 3 individuals.
When I hit the kid that tried to shoot me, that's when the security from the club went and tried to grab me, and that's when the ratchet went off into the air.
In the end, the attempted murder charge against Shyne was dismissed, but he was convicted of A and firearm possession. This led to a harsh sentence of 10 years in prison, an ordeal that proved to be nothing short of torturous for Shyne.
So for a human being to be animalized for 10 years, there's no quick fix to that.
Currently, several witnesses assert that Diddy brandished a firearm, an allegation vehemently denied by the Bad Boy CEO.
That I have anything to do with a shooting. I do not own a gun, nor did I possess a gun.
Contrastingly, some witnesses put forth the claim that Diddy purportedly offered his driver a $50,000 bribe to shoulder the responsibility for the gun charges. Shyne countered this narrative, asserting in a radio interview that he carried a firearm that night due to having been shot just a month earlier. According to Shyne, having the gun on him in the club prevented a potentially tragic outcome. Nevertheless, the incident strained Shyne's relationship with Diddy irreparably.
Relationship there to have a beef, right?
Exactly, he doesn't exist to me, and
Nothing that the man meant to do. He was acting in self-defense. He didn't deserve 10 years.
Ultimately, Shyne bore the brunt of the legal consequences, serving nearly 9 years for charges including a weapon possession and reckless endangerment. He maintained that he took the fall to protect himself and save Diddy. However, the truth came to light when, a few days later, Shyne's bodyguard, Gene Deal, revealed the real story.
Those people were testifying, they were brought to Puff first, saying that what they saw against Shyne and what they saw Shyne do.
The LOX, a hip-hop group, initially faced public conflicts with Bad Boy Entertainment. Their journey began when Diddy signed them after Mary J. Blige discovered and recommended them based on their demo tape. The group catapulted to fame after featuring on Diddy's highly successful track, It's All About the Benjamins.
Who know, you kind of never know, it's gonna be, what song's gonna be extra crazy. So, and we spit and this took place, but I fought it for a minute. I did it. I did my verse that night.
Following the disappointment of their 1998 album, Money, Power, and Respect, and its singles failing to chart, the LOX grew discontented with the direction Diddy was taking Bad Boy. In the aftermath of Biggie's death, Diddy shifted away from hardcore street music toward a more mainstream sound to secure radio success and appeal to a broader audience. This shift prompted the LOX to actively seek a new record company that aligned better with their musical style.
He was one of them dudes that would just say crazy stuff anyway, all the time, on a daily basis. He drunk 40 ounces.
Because of this, they started being featured on a number of tunes released by Rough Riders, which is a label connected to fellow Yonkers native DMX.
X was already a star in Yonkers in our eyes, maybe 7 to 10 years before he ever dropped the album.
But Diddy wouldn't allow them out of their contract, so the group started a campaign called Free the LOX to demand that they be released from their obligations.
It worked sufficiently for what we needed it to do, but looking back, that was all on us, like, you know what I mean?
In 1999, the LOX made a bold statement at the Hot 97 Summer Jam performance by wearing t-shirts that boldly stated, "Let the locks go." Tensions escalated during the event, culminating in Diddy being struck with a chair. This incident prompted Diddy to sever ties with the LOX, leading the group to sign a contract with Rough Riders shortly thereafter. They remained with Rough Riders for more than a decade.
It was probably after the argument with Diddy, when Styles threw the chair at Puff. Know what I mean? I ain't sure, but that was probably the last.
The actual conflict began when the LOX approached Diddy seeking assistance in becoming publishers so they could equitably divide their earnings. They contended that Diddy owned 50% of the publishing company. However, Diddy countered, asserting that he only owned 20% of the LOX and had earned $400,000 from their endeavors, as reported by All Hip Hop. The band's representative promptly refuted Diddy's claim, presenting court documents as evidence. According to the band, imagine working for years and years, hard work, and somebody that has nothing to do with that is getting the bulk of it. You'd be totally, utterly frustrated, and you trying to get around it for years, and you call about it with lawyers, but people are too powerful. The conflict reached a public forum when Diddy, responding to the claims, called into a radio show from his Manhattan office to present his side of the story.
We businessmen. We all mature adults. Say all that right there. I'm at my office. Y'all can sit on this interview with her and talk as long as y'all want to talk about it. Or you can take the invitation I gave you before.
They said, once we decided to go against Diddy, he had the power to block us from ever putting a song out ever again. We didn't have no leverage, really, besides the street. We had mixtapes. We had people behind us who thought we would be great artists in the future. If we gonna do it, let's do it. But just know, it could go all the way bad. According to OK Player, the LOX were eventually released from their deal with Bad Boy after their management company, Rough Riders, paid Sean Combs $2 million to buy them out of the agreement. Additionally, the royalties from Jadakiss's debut solo project, titled Kiss the Game Goodbye, were given to Combs. The New York City rapper from Yonkers also admitted that Combs wasn't being difficult throughout the buyout negotiations and that he could have made the situation much worse for himself. They said, shout out to Diddy also, because he could have played much harder ball than he played. But the public felt something weird during this and came forward to show sympathies to the LOX. One person wrote, "The LOX situation broke my heart. You can hear the pain in their voices. They bought themselves out of the label, but Diddy still profits if they make music wow. Thank you for breaking down the timeline. Never knew the full story." Furthermore, he has been implicated in numerous controversies, including alleged connections to various criminal activities. His name has been prominently featured in discussions surrounding Tupac's life, and he has even been linked to the death of his own wife. As one of the fans wrote, "Look at how many people has died around Diddy. His ex-wife's death is suspicious too. He has had to do some bad things to get and stay at the level he's at. He has always been whack, but thinking he's something special." And then we have Mace. Back in 1999, Mace shocked the industry when he announced his departure from Bad Boy Entertainment to start his ministry, Sane Ministries. He said he left the music world to follow God and stop leading people down a path to hell. Even though Mace shared that he had a spiritual awakening, Some still question whether there were other reasons for his exit. After all, Diddy wasn't known for easily letting his artists leave their contracts. But despite the absence of royalties during his break, Mase managed to stage a triumphant comeback after 5 years with his album Welcome Back under the Bad Boy label. Nevertheless, he swiftly signaled his intention to depart once more and skillfully orchestrated an interview with Puffy. In the course of this interview, he formally sought his release from the contract, adding another noteworthy twist to his eventful journey with the label.
Once I get this paper signed, then I come back.
Oh, that's what it is, guys.
You see what I said?
Would you rather have something to talk about? You got nothing to talk about right now. Got something to talk about.
No, this is freedom paper.
In 2016, Mase made a sensational comeback as part of a Bad Boy Records tour, wasting no time in publicly airing his grievances against his former boss. Shortly thereafter, he turned to Instagram for a live session to offer an explanation about the circumstances surrounding the incident.
When I see the hurt and the pains of other people on Bad Boy, that motivates me to say something so I don't be deemed as a person.
Despite moments of apparent reconciliation, the tension between them never truly seemed to dissipate, with Mase resuming his criticism of Diddy. This dynamic persisted even after Diddy delivered a heartfelt speech at the Grammys, demonstrating that their relationship remained complex and unsettled. Diddy said, "Truth be told, hip-hop has never been respected by the Grammys. Black music has never been respected by the Grammys to the point that it should be." While Diddy's words resonated with many musicians, Mase notably did not share the same sentiment. The rapper took to Instagram, albeit in a post that has since been deleted, to voice his grievances about the alleged unfair treatment he had endured under the leadership of Bad Boy's label head. "Your past business practices knowingly has continued purposely starved your artist and been extremely unfair to the very same artist that helped you obtain that Icon Award on the iconic Bad Boy label." In a candid interview, Mase took things a step further by disclosing that he had never received adequate compensation, even though he had been the creative driving force behind numerous hit songs for Bad Boy. This revelation brought to the fore his financial hardships within the label, further deepening the ongoing controversy surrounding his association with Bad Boy Records.
The beats, you ain't getting the money, you ain't getting the publishing, you ain't getting the respect. And I don't think you're like that. No.
In any case, it seems the alleged infringement on the rights of his own artists, involvement in extravagant parties, and even rumors connecting him to criminal activities, including deaths, have provided ample grounds for artists like 112 to sever ties with Diddy. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.